What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NBA Guru Show. I'm Zach, this is Naf, and we're going to talk about the extensions of Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis. To extend or not to extend. Got some Romeo and Juliet stuff going on here. See how much they should be valued. Uh, and just the whole situation, what's going on with them. We're going to give you guys the inside scoop, all the latest news for that, and yeah, we're going to be basically doing a deep dive on the extensions, man. How you feeling about going deep dive on Keegan and Keon, man? You excited or what?
Let's do it, man. I always love contract talk. I love the financial aspect of the game, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, Keegan Murray, going on to his fourth year, drafted in 22. Let's start with this. First, let's talk Keegan Murray, and let's start. Should the Kings extend him or not? That's the first question, and I think we both agree it's a pretty easy question to answer.
Yeah.
Just
No doubt they should
yeah,
extend him. He's the only wing on the team. And we've talked about how wings are like a diamond in the rough in this league, so you have to extend Keegan Murray.
yeah. So first year, played 80 games and averaging 12 points, 4.5 rebounds, 41 from three, lights out that year, 45 from the field. Next year, 45 from the field, 36 from three. Then the next year, 44 from the field and 34 for three. So definitely a little bit of regression on the efficiency standpoint. Just for three pointers, we thought this guy was going to be getting 40% every year, three pointers. But then one thing was his defense just absolutely stood out the following 2 years. Just the best defender on the Kings, his length, perimeter defense, just reaching all kinds of great defensive metrics for the Kings as the primary and only wing, basically. Um, and yeah, you guys know how much I love the EPM stat, best stat in the NBA, estimated plus minus. I got it ready for you guys. It's at a plus point 0.5, which is the third best on the Kings behind Sabonis and Levine. He's a minus zero point 0.7 on offense. Makes a little bit of sense. And a 1.1 positive on the defensive end, which rounds up to about 0.5. So definitely his defense is spectacular. His offense, it's a little bit tough because the Kings, man, they're just not giving him a lot of chances and opportunities to really develop there, just because they got so many ball hawks and guys that are gonna have so much high usage like DeMar, Levine, Sabonis, now Schroeder. Like you have all these guys, so it's kind of hard to develop with Keegan. This might not be the year. I mean, I'm hoping that the Kings try to do it, but I don't see it happening too much with all these guys on the team. Like they got like maybe after the year after DeMar leaves. I feel like once DeMar leaves, if they can trade him at the deadline, I think that'll at least give a decent. That takes up a lot of he takes up a lot of shots. So I think that'd be good for Keaton's development if they get more opportunity for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't like to see the regression from the 3-point line, going from 41% his rookie year to now in this past season 34%. I agree with you though. You got to look at the context. He's playing alongside a lot of ball stoppers with Levine, DeRozan, even Sabonis at times. So I would say the surrounding, his just like the supporting cast isn't really ideal for a player like Keegan Murray. So that could be a primary, cause of concern, and it could be the reason for why his 3-pointer has regressed.
Definitely.
Because his rookie year, obviously DeMar wasn't there, Levine wasn't there. So I don't think I think that you have to definitely provide context to those stats. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, like you said, just to see because his usage really just hasn't been high enough to really like gauge a value, in my opinion. So I don't know if maybe contract talks are where the point is at with contract talks with the Sacramento Kings. And yeah, once we talk about the number, I think that maybe that's where the split is in regards to just what number he deserves and what number he's going to get in the market, just comparing him to other players and stuff. So,
Yeah, but before we get to the numbers here, I'm looking at the EPM, just like a lot of players around point 0.5, and around those players, I'm getting names like Michael Porter Jr., Rui Hachimura, Okoro, kind of in the same ballpark as Keegan with a point 0.5, and Jaden McDaniels. And since this is a good transition to get to the numbers, Jaden McDaniels got a 5-year 136, which is about
Mhm.
$26.2 million a year. That's like a decent comp for him. You know, there's another one that everyone mentions, Jabari Smith Jr. For Houston Rockets, same draft class, got a 5-year
22,
122. Yeah, which comes out to about almost 25 million. Uh,
24.4. Yeah, average
yeah.
annual value.
So, um, those are some comps for Keegan. I think in that ballpark around 25 makes sense for Keegan. I'm not sure what the number he's looking for, but if I'm his agent, uh, I would be uh, I would be trying to get more money because the Kings are desperate for a wing, and he's the only wing. Um, and Keegan Murray is eligible. Just to be clear here, he's eligible for a contract extension until late October. If they don't finalize an extension, he's going to be a restricted free agent in 2026 in the summer.
Yeah,
So
October
just
31st.
yeah, October 31st. So that is the deadline to extend him. So that's kind of what's going on. And just a fun fact here, uh, Keegan, and Schroeder all have the same agent, sports agent. That's Mark Bartelstein from Priority Sports Entertainment. He has other clients, Michael Porter Jr., Beal, Herb Jones, and Doug McDermott also. So he's got 4 players on the Kings. So
Okay, okay.
hopefully, yeah, they got Scott Perry has a decent connection
Little
with this.
connection discount.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I think if I'm trying to get him for 25, I think 25 is fair. I would go 26. Uh, man, I might even go. I don't know if I'd go 27 and up is high, but like 26 is probably my max. I don't know. What do you think, value wise?
Interesting, interesting. So I'll say Jabari Smith, you brought it up, 5 years for 122 mil. That does fluctuate. It descends and ascends looking at the yearly. But I will say personally, Jabari Smith is 3 years younger than Keegan.
Hmm.
And the Rockets
That's
are
a good
a
point.
contending team. With all due respect to Sacramento Kings, as a contending team, you do sometimes get discounts on players like these just because they want to stay on a team that's able to contend. So, in that regards, you said you wouldn't go more than 26. I personally would not go more than 25 million. I think that I would try to lock him down for 20 million. He does, like you said, have the leverage because he is a 3-and-D wing, the only 3-and-D wing on the Sacramento Kings. But I just don't think personally that he's shown enough to really be worth the 25 million. Just throwing out some other contracts here, like Cam Johnson on the Nuggets, 4 years, 94.5 million, average annual value 23.6 million. So he would be getting paid more than him. Um, Herb Jones, I think, would be a good like Herb Jones is a route in between 20 and 25 million average annual value with a 3-year, $68 million deal. I think that Herb Jones is a good comp. The only problem with Herb Jones is yeah, he didn't really play. He's not as um, durable as Keegan
Yeah.
Murray. So, and then another one that's on an average annual value of 22.5 million is DeAndre Hunter, 4 years, 90 million. I would personally take DeAndre Hunter. Um, it's over Keegan, but Keegan is younger. So you do have
Hmm.
to age is a big factor in these contract negotiations. So personally, I would try to get him for around that $22.5 million number. Trey Murphy is when you start talking about like north of 25, 26, you're looking at Trey Murphy,
Hmm.
4 years, $112 million, and I think Trey Murphy is a much better player
Yeah.
than Keegan Murray in my opinion. I don't think that's. I mean, Sacramento
28 a
Kings
year.
fans might not like here, huh?
28 a year
Yeah,
for that.
28 a year. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly, 28 a year for Trey Murphy. So yeah, I don't think that Keegan is on the Trey Murphy. I don't think he's as good as Trey Murphy. Similar age, same exact age. I think they're both 25. Trey Murphy averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, in my opinion, if you could get him on that DeAndre Hunter type of deal, that's a good number, 22 and a half. I think that's a fair number for all parties.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I think that I would not go higher than 25 million, especially with the CBA. Obviously, we're just seeing teams be a lot more cautious. So I think you have to be like these little like it might seem like little slight
Yeah,
differences, like 2-3 million, but
it makes a big
it
difference at
makes
the
a big
end.
difference exactly in aggregate in the end. So I would not go
Yeah.
more than 25 million, and I would shoot for 20 million if I'm the Kings. So I mean 22 and a half is fair. I'm just pretty much going in the middle there, playing
Yeah,
both
yeah, yeah.
sides.
No, that's fair. I think we're in the same ball, but like if I get it for 20, that'd be great. If I get 22 and a half, that'd be great. Your max is 25, my max is 26. I think
26. Yeah,
yeah, it's
pretty
right
much
there. Hope,
the same.
we'll see if he gets it. About 2.5 months left till the Kings got to extend him.
Yeah, and then I
Um,
think like Jaden McDaniels, in my opinion, is a better player than Keegan Murray, and you brought
mhm,
him up 26
mhm.
point two million average annual value. So, yeah, I think that 22, 23 is fair. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that'll bring both sides very happy.
yeah.
Now, what did you do? Now, actually, let's get this real quick. 4 years or 5 years? Like, how? What's the length of the contract you're trying to give him?
Good question. 25 years old. Um, yeah, contract length is always tricky because I don't know. Maybe you want to. I think the longer the better in terms of just having him on the books, the salary cap going up, you have him at a lower number. And also you
Hmm.
want to look if you want a descending contract. I'll give him the 5 years just because he's so young, 25 years
Yeah,
old. I think the
and
longer
you
contract.
might be able to get a discount too if you give him the 5 years, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You have more flexibility in terms of the cap and maybe extending, like stretching that average annual value mark. So that's a good point. So I would try to aim for 5 years. Now that fifth year, whether it's a team option, player option, that's another question too.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can get him for like a little discount because I'm doing a 5 year, maybe like a 5 year 110, something like that. That'd be great.
Yeah,
So that'd be what I would be trying to strive for.
yeah. But
And it's very reasonable.
Yeah, but if you're Keegan, like
Yeah,
you might want to go shorter.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, you want to sign as much, you want to get as much money guaranteed as you
True.
can. So, if I'm him, I'm trying to get the 5 year, even if it's like a little bit less per year. I'm still trying to get that fifth year. And it's still a reasonable contract. If you're getting him for 22, 23, 24 million a year, like that's a very reasonable contract to like trade if you need to. And
Yeah, that's another thing. It's
he'll
tradable.
be in demand for a while.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely do not want to lose him. So I expect that they will come to a contract extension agreement
Hmm.
before the October 31st deadline. So, yeah, I mean, the only one that took 5 years was the most recent one, Jabari Smith.
Hmm.
All the other players we mentioned, Trey Murphy, Cam Johnson, Herb Jones, all took 4 year deals. So it's also, if he wants to maybe have that fifth year be a player option, if I'm his agent, that's probably what I would try to do, so that maybe if he
Hmm.
does take that leap, he does get that. I don't know if that would put him at. I don't think that would put him maybe 10 year service time to where
Hmm.
he's eligible for a max if he really does believe in himself to be that guy. So it's really just small details here and there that they're just gonna have to sort out. But I don't think they'll have a problem coming to an agreement.
Yeah, they're trying to. I don't know if they're maybe just waiting a little bit right now, just for like all the Kaminga stuff and just seeing what they
Yeah,
can do before the
right.
actual
Yeah, that's true.
before the start of the season. So I think that Keegan should be, like you said, paid pretty soon. Let's get to the next guy, Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis. Uh, they can extend Keon Ellis starting February 9th, 2026. They picked up his 2.3 million team option for this season. So he'll be under contract. First question, I think we'll both agree to this. The Kings need to extend him, right? It's a
Yeah,
definite
no
yes.
doubt, no doubt.
Keon Ellis, who is, some sites say on Basketball Reference he's listed at 6'6", but he's on NBA.com he's listed at 6'4", so we'll split the difference. He's around, close around 6'5", maybe a little bit less, but around there 6'5". 25 years old, going to be 26 in January. Um, 8 points, last year for the Kings, 1.5 steals in 24 minutes per game. He was shooting 49 from the field and 43 from three, which is amazing efficiency for a 3 and D guard like Keon. um, his field goal percentage 64%, played 80 games, just and got point 0.8 blocks for a 6'5" guard, which is pretty crazy. So definitely a needed and a very in demand position, archetype, all that stuff. Um, yeah, so value wise, or let me say his EPM before that, he
Yeah.
was at a plus point 0.3, minus point 0.3 on offense. That's fair. He's not that much of a doesn't have like too much in his game offensively right now. Hopefully that can improve, but he's just
Hmm.
basically a spot up 3 point shooter. And then on defense, he's a plus point 0.5, which I'm surprised. I feel like it should be a little bit higher, but yeah, it's so he that's why his net is a point 0.3. But other guys around there is RJ Barrett, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, Davion Mitchell is right there. Uh, Jeremy Sohan. So yeah, contract wise, for me, I'd try to get him at that 3 for 40, 345 mil type of contract. Um, a guy I was looking at as a comp was Nikhil Alexander Walker, who got like 4 years for 62, which
Yeah.
was around 15 million a year. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about his value?
Yeah, it's interesting. Love Keon Ellis as a player. Just an absolute pest on defense. One of
Hmm.
the few guys I'll just absolutely chase around and bother Stephen Curry. Just guys like that. I think that you do have to sign him. Um, Surprised going back to this summer that they did not decline the option and extend him. I
Hmm.
was willing to weigh out and see what the reason was for, but I mean to do that for the contract that they gave Schroeder, which was 3 for 45.
Yep.
Personally, I would have just given that to Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
And I would not give him. I would not try to give him if I'm the Kings. Scott Perry, from a financial standpoint, 15 million, which is about the mid level, is probably as high as I would go.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would shoot for that um 10 million, maybe as low between 10 and 15 million, the lowest end 10 million. I think this is what I would do. I would give him a contract extension with average annual value around 12 million, and I would
Hmm.
include incentives in that deal that would rise the contract up to 15 million. I think that would be fair, incentivize the contract, include maybe defensive metrics, even an all defensive team, maybe escalator in there. Maybe he will make, I mean, it's going to be a long shot, but he might make a defensive team. And then, like you said, his offense, maybe just include like a 3 point percentage or just some performance incentives in regards to, just defense and play and shooting that can potentially rise the base salary of 12 to 15 million. Personally, that's what I would do. I think that's best for both parties. And I think that in that case, it would be a 3 year, $36 million deal, rising up to, like you said, 3 years, 45 million. So that's what I would do. He does become extension eligible starting February 9th, 2026. So they could potentially start negotiating again. I'm assuming, whether they have a handshake deal or not. That's something that, you know, we talked about before this
Yeah.
summer. Maybe they do have that wink wink deal, and that's why they picked up the option. So yeah, that's in my opinion, that is the value for him. The risk, I will say, you did mention Davion Mitchell. He got 2 years, 24 million. He just signed with the Miami Heat for
Mhm.
average annual value $12 million per year. So that's a good comp. Good.
Yeah.
Also the former Sacramento King Davion Mitchell. Um, Lou Dort signed a 5 years, $82.5 million deal with OKC, where it was ascending. So the first year that contract was 15 million. Right now, 3-4 years later, it's in that 18 million range. So that's an ascending deal. So I think that it's hard to compare because there's in a lot of
Yeah.
prototypes like Keon out there, as much as like Keegan. We had all those comps for Keegan. Keon, it was a little harder to find those deals, but the mid level sounds about right in my opinion. And you have to, Sacramento really needs to lock up Keon because unlike this summer where only pretty much the Brooklyn Nets had cap space. Next
Yeah.
summer, you're looking at the Lakers, you're looking at Utah, you're looking at Chicago, Portland, in addition to Brooklyn. So you're looking at all these teams that could snipe Keon Ellis, and I think Keon would be a very attractive target for these teams.
Yeah, that'd be a huge asset loss for the Kings. I mean,
Yeah,
one of the few players that plays defense on this team. You really need to try to get him. Hopefully, like you said, like these guys have some sort of wink wink. They got Keegan, and Schroeder all have the same agent. So they've been talking all summer, I'm sure. And hopefully they extend them. I feel like the Kings are gonna go through the season, figure out like, all right, it's not working out. We're gonna trade DeMar. We're gonna get this as an expiring. They're gonna figure stuff out, and then hopefully in February they can extend them and get kind of figure out their salaries better at that point.
yeah, that's
Because
true.
it is kind of tight. Because the Kings are like pretty much like right at that like luxury tax, like right at it, and like they still got to extend both these guys. So money is tight right now. The Levine contract, the Sabonis contract, the
That's a
Demar
problem. That's the
contract.
two problems right there. Levine and
uh,
Sabonis contracts.
yeah, it's pretty tough to. It's just tough to like easily if they. I mean, like if they had the money, they would give them the money immediately.
Yeah,
But they're
exactly.
they were trying to get another asset with Schroeder. I wouldn't have given them that much money, but yeah, it's that's what it is. So would you consider 4 years or 5 years for Keon, or you thinking just the three like that we're saying that we're kind of talking about 340, 345?
Um, 4 years. I think 4 years is. I would give. I really like Keon Ellis. I think he's gonna get
Mhm,
better. So I would give him 4 years personally, if that's on
mhm,
the table.
mhm.
Yeah, I would give him like 4 years, 60
Yeah,
million. That $15 million an hour. Sorry, $15 million a year.
yeah, that's a
Value
very
with
trade.
incentivized
Yeah.
contract, of course. So yeah,
That's a very tradable contract, reasonable contract. If I would do 4 years also if we can get like a little bit of a discount, like if we can get that 12 and a half per year or 13
yeah,
per year or something for 5 years, that would or 4 years, sorry, that would work great.
that's true. Give them
Um,
the extra
450 or
money,
something.
but yeah, extra
Yeah.
year with extra money. That way you
Yeah.
can lower the average annual value.
Yeah.
So that's a good strategy
It's a
to
little
lower that.
risky for Keon right now because he doesn't have, what if he gets hurt? Hopefully not or anything crazy, but
Yeah, it's risky right now going into the season. He's gonna be playing
yeah.
on what is it, a $2.3
Yeah,
million
two
dollar
three.
option, right?
Yeah, 2.3.
$2.3 million option. So I mean, very risky for him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how
He's
happy
probably a
he is
little
about
upset.
that. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I would not be too happy to be playing on a $2.3 million salary.
Yeah, when he's deserving of almost 15.
Way more.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, those are the two that we want to talk about. The Keegan and Keon, since it's kind of looming around. Gonna bring in more content, guys, more King stuff, more NBA stuff. Keep following us, subscribe, turn on that notification button. We're gonna be here all year, all season, more stuff in the summer. So just keep a lookout for us, and we'll get some more deep dives soon for the Kings. So appreciate you guys.